mob followed by a light
Dead
bulb.
here. Four-man mosh pit followed by a tomb. Oh no!
Oh, a huge light bomb coming in on the Genji, and that's a 5-man light bomb. They're gonna follow up, and they're gonna get 1, 2, 3 kills.
And it's gonna be everybody dying. Oh my God! When does this happen? Everybody's dead.
G'day, and welcome. I am your host for this evening, the Lime Bus, and we have yet another Nexus Gaming Series cast. In fact, we're back in Division C East. Last time we had a first round, we have another round of C East. So the last time was 2 versus 7, I believe. This time we have 4 versus 5. So, in theory, the closest of these games that it will be. And fensad is the team that's number 4. ICC TBD is number 5. So we see fensad did ban out Dragonshire and Cursed Hollow, while ICC TBD did ban out Infernal Shrines, thank God, and Braxis Holdout, which those are all reasonable bans there. 2 of those maps, well actually all those maps, it's very much a outside of your standard array, very much. Infernal Shrines is one of the ones that do have an often higher Lich Queen. I hope you are doing well this evening. I assume evening for you? I am not. I assume that's how time zones work. My knowledge of time zones goes downhill more and more as we go along. But right. All in all, we do also have fensad. Fensad, they did, as I say, ban out Dragonshire and the big map, Cursed Hollow. Which, if we have a look at how ICC TBD do, they do pretty well on Cursed. But they've been pretty consistent on it so far, which, fair enough. Get rid of their good maps makes sense. Wait a minute. No, they usually ban out Cursed. Why was Cursed banned by fensad? You could have probably baited it. But I'm just going to say I'm ready when everyone else is. Because, of course, it's going to take a little bit, ain't it? It always just takes a little bit. But Dragonshire as well. Yeah, looks like that fensad do pretty well on Dragonshire. Welcome, Stormsword. I hope you're doing well this evening. I'm going to keep saying evening and pray it's going to be right eventually. Yeah, they do pretty well on Dragonshire. 60% win rate. Which, not for most games, only 5 games. But still, a 60% win rate means you are going to win more often. I have been told, apparently, to tell how a player has been talking smack in another player's chat. And the thing is, I don't remember. I have a horrible memory, so so I could listen back to it and go, tell him. I'm like, man, I am dumb. I cannot remember anything. And I'm just going to keep kind of my initial game analysis because, man, I do not want to walk into that mess that is this rivalry, apparently. But on the other side, we did see Infernal Shrines banned out, which, looking at maps, yeah, fensad have done pretty good in terms of on wins in terms of Infernal Shrines, 57.14% win rate. So yeah, pretty solid all round. Just one of the more comfortable maps by the looks of it. But I'm surprised Ultrarak made it through. They do, at Ultrarak they have about a 50-50. But then Braxis Holdout. I guess no one just likes playing Braxis. We're like, just get rid of it. But as you can hear, we're in the game. fensad picked it. Matt picked, so let's see how this draft goes, shall we? Right. ICC TBD has that first pick due to fensad choosing the map. I have no clue what each team is going to ban. I could hazard like random guesses saying like Vala, Li Ming are both pretty good ones to get rid of. I know Grismore does play a decent amount of Li Ming, so it would only be a fair kind of thing to get rid of. I don't have a direct comparison as to last time because that's just a little bit out of what I did in prep, but we do still have a decent matchup coming. Maybe Junkrat. Junkrat stalls quite well this map. You may want to get rid of Junkrat because he's just a nuisance in general. But we'll see what comes out. Anduin. The Manduin is going to be banned first. Which, safe first ban. It looks like they play a decent amount of Andal when we get the chance. Joanna banned out, just much quicker decision there. Just for, no, do not want that one in. Second ban for ICC TBD. What are we going to get? I do wonder. Oh, microphone, you're drifting, mate. Come back. There we go. Ugh. Right. And it is Stukov, so a healer choke coming out. Interesting. But I know Jesse Fast does have a few healers in the back, so it should be interesting. We've got in Hogger banned out. Okay. Which, yeah, that is reasonable. Hogger is pretty good at taking the camps of this map, and it looks like that a lot of people do ban out the Hogger against ICC TBD. So the question becomes, what is first? I imagine you'll see a healer pick first, considering they're just targeting healers. Maybe Brightwing. But we go... Oh, right, Greek Fire, it's Lucio. No wonder. I just remembered what his icon is. Yeah, why would I suspect anything that isn't Lucio? But there's the Brightwing. Maybe a tank? Maybe a... Blaze? A Nubarak. Okay. I like a Nubarak. They did choose it last time on this map, so it makes sense. But if we go back the other ones... God, let's just have a look. What are we going to get? Hanzo? Chromie? Oh, turns to tanks. Two strong tanks were banned out. Maybe we get Muradin. Maybe the Blaze instead. But we get Vala and Blaze. Yep, there's one of them. But Vala also a pretty good pickup. A very consistent damage dealer. One of the top performers currently. Or at least how everything is currently playing out. She is just that good of a hero. You can pick her at this stage and be fine with it most of the time. Third ban for fensad. What are we going to get? Two, one. Fight. Tychus. I do like me a good Tychus. Reasonable ban. I do think it's interesting considering Vala has already been picked up. Because you typically, if you see a Vala pick up, that is often the auto attack hero of the team, so Tychus is an interesting one. Does indicate we may get some shenanigans from fensad, but we can't guarantee anything yet. Right. And Leoric rounds things out. I think they may have been thrown off by everyone talking about Leo earlier. Oh no, it does look like they play Leo a fair bit. I don't know what they go instead. Dahaka is a little bit interesting if you want to go that, but there's not that many bushes. We see Lee being picked up by Grismore, which I did kind of talk about at the beginning and not surprised it's picked up. It is one of the better heroes. They're very consistent on it at least. And we see Dahaka is picked up by Ruglord. Okay. Relatively standard things. Gimme Stitches. Gimme Stitches. Stitches Vala, maybe a Chromie, not Stitches or Muradin, I think, maybe Chromie. So you can have it just like this general poke or dive, depending on how you want to play your tank. Or if you are going something such as Stitches, you can kind of get that pseudo engage. Blaze can engage, or you can get Hook for the pick. So that also works quite well here. Diablo by Dark Knight and Chromie by Cyrillith. So honestly, I'm doing pretty well on the estimate so far. But final pick is Robot Wizard. It is the other damage. The other damage. Junkrat? Better last time here. Nope, Hanzo instead. Okay. I like both these drafts. I'll kind of just... Yeah, we have a little bit to talk about them. I don't know how well Anubrak will be followed up on. If he gets a stun in a clear kind of spot, Grismore and Robot Wizard should be able to follow up pretty well. But meanwhile, you have two very strong engages by ICC TBD that can make it very hard for anyone to want to do their job. But I'll get more into that as the game goes along. I'm going to throw it over to the in-game kind of scene now, and we'll see how everything goes. So catch you in a few moments.
Oh, a swap. Oh no, but a swap followed by a light bomb.
4-man mosh pit followed by a tomb. Oh no!
Oh, here's light bomb coming in on the Genji, and that's a 5-man light bomb. They're gonna follow up, and they're gonna get 1, 2, 3 kills.
And it's gonna be everybody dying. Oh my god, when does this happen? Everybody's dead.
Right, and we actually had that pretty well timed for once. And on the left side of fensad, we do have Ruglord on Dahaka, as I zoom out. Grismore on the Li Ming. Jazzy Fast on Brightwing. Psycho on Anubrak. And Robot Wizard is on the spinning Hanzo. Me on the right hand side, we have Greek Fire, Lucio, Dark Knight, Diablo, Nova Bot on the Chromie. Not a Nova, so a bit disappointing. Cyrillith on the Vala, and Chauncey on the Charging Man Blaze. Right on. Right, but we are going to have a little bit of a tussle coming out to start. Nice scatter. It does get the first little bit of damage of the game, but Greek Fire does cancel out. Getting a little bit of spray action there from Ruglord. Cyrillith gets hit with an arrow, yes. Just slowly hit each other. The waves are now together. This is where you may see things happening. Nice tongue by Ruglord, max range. We see they're going in on the Cyrillith and Greek Fire, but no, they both get to live. So what could have been a pretty good early kill, it's turned out wrong. And we see Phase Shift coming out, however it was onto Robot Wizard, it wasn't onto the tank, it has them going down. And the thing is, if they took out Vala there, oh, Ruglord has paused the game. Mouse issue. I'm going to use this time to start a prediction, which I know maybe not the best timing, but it does happen. Right, I have to type it out this way because otherwise it complains. Looks like they're ready now. Good. You guys will just get live because I always forget to turn off the chat. Don't use this time to get a drink. Oh my gosh, guys. I'm going to have to switch, quickly change it over to this by the looks of it. Oh, no, never mind. They're counting us in. Changing it back. Right, we do have the game resumed. As I was about to say before that happened, we do have enhanced agility on Dahaka, which is going to be going a little bit of a scuffle with Blaze. Nice tongue onto them, gets a pull, but not... Oh, actually a decent amount of damage. Chauncey taking a bit more than they probably would have liked. Meanwhile, we do have Redemption Hanzo, which I do like it. It's always an interesting one to me. I don't know where it will go, but it is always interesting to me at least. We do see auto attack Vala, which if they got that kill on her at the beginning, that would have done very well. But no, they didn't quite do it. And Diablo does have Soulstone, which he always has Soulstone. Don't expect anything else. Right, let me close that and see how everything going. We have the two mages fighting up the top. Yeah. Good old Chromie versus Li Ming. Two artillery heroes just sitting 10 miles away trying to do what they can. Oh, we see this stepping up. Novabot goes for something cheeky. Does get the globe. Will they get the other globe as well? Is Grismore going to step up to defend what's rightfully hers? Takes a decent amount of damage, and we can see Dark Knight is stepping up now. Greek Fire holding just under them. But right, that was kind of all for that. We do have a camps clashing, so there's going to be a good scuffle here. Robot Wizard actually getting relatively stacked, I'd imagine. 4 stacks. Not quite as far as I thought. But there was a 5th one there, however. But looks like that the wave clear is just that little bit better for the side of ICC TBD currently. Phase shift coming out, and I was going to say that's probably bottom, as we do see Chauncey has to back up. Meanwhile, Jazzy Fast and Ruglord are vibing. Dark Knight going down to get that soak temporarily, which, if they see Dark Knight down bottom, honestly, Psycho should just go on and Cyrillith. Greek Fire can't quite do anything to protect them too much yet. They do have that AoE healing that Lucio does always have, but outside of that, there's not too much. Nice roll by Cyrillith, and Greek Fire is actually barely out of its max range. Right, and Ruglord is just actually bullying out people a little bit bottom. But I don't know how long that will last. I mean, if no one disturbs them... Oh, yep, that was less than ideal. Let's just actually stay down here. Ruglord is going to walk near a wall. Does walk into the bush at the right time. Dark Knight not able to get him. Okay, dude. Ruglord keeps... I don't know if I'll cast him again. But we do have now the teams fighting each other. Nice Q onto Psycho. Greek Fire is going to try channel it. Dodges the Q. We see Chauncey is now here. Diablo coming up. And actually, we do have 5v5. Dahaka did burrow top. Tongue coming out onto the Blaze. Not the easiest one to kill, but definitely not the hardest. But yeah, we see Dark Knight is trying to channel it over, which, while if it's so surrounded, may not be a great idea. It's quite hard to get away with that. But we do see actually a minion channels it over, and the camp is back. Not quite going to have any cavalry escaping just yet. But all in all, it's a bit scarier than they, bit closer than they would have liked with everyone just stalling it out. Why am I getting pinged? That's why. Cool. I need to figure that out. Alright, we do see that ICC TBD are going to go back to pushing. Meanwhile, Tahaka, Ruglord's just kind of being left alone bottom. So if this kind of keeps up, we're going to see there'll be an experience of ours slowly building up, which, yeah, we can already see that there is that difference, but Tahaka can afford to do that. Tahaka has a time. Nice dodge. Robot Wizard didn't quite hit the Q. Seralith barely not getting in time, but Q barely coming up from Psycho hitting them. We can see Grismore is holding high above them with that orb build, can get those resets. Q build will get decent as well. But we do see that they do, ICC TBD does eventually get the objective, at least rolling. Whether they can finish it is the question. Dark and Orca situation, however, Dark Knight more so. Dark Knight will be first to go down. And that is a Li Ming reset. You can see everyone's getting speed boosted out. Seralith, Novabot trying to escape. Ruglord trying to get on top of him. Tongue actually hits the Vala, which I didn't think it would. And that's a stack of Gambit gone. Vala goes down. It's a nice Tongue by Chauncey. Not Chauncey, by Ruglord. And that camp is going to start rolling once again. ICC TBD will likely have that coming up. Or will have that coming up. And that will be the first cavalry of the game going to, well, the blue team. Which, it is fitting that fensad is blue. It works out very well. In terms of coloring, excellent stuff. How do I... There we go. Won't get pinged by that unnecessarily now, huh? We do see now Rogue and Chauncey are just going to be doing a little scuffle up, but happening top, we can leave them be. They're doing their own thing. We see that fensad are trying to open up this keep. Actually, they decide to change their mind. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. But if they do open this up, they get a relatively good boss push. And the same thing can be said for bottom. If either of those forts go down, the fort will go on to keep. And that will actually help snowball the mountain of like that advantage you get with boss. But that is already top cavalry down. Meanwhile, Chauncey is having a much harder time defending bottom, but it's doing well enough at it. We hear Dragon Arrow coming out. And we see Seralith running for their life, but not quite fast enough, and that will be them going down. We do see the cavalry going down after, but that will be that objective done. Thank you, Hector. I hope you're doing well this evening. Thank you for the bus. I don't know. Chromie is left bot, left alone top. Meanwhile, we do have a good general split. Dark Knight, Greek Fire doing their best to defend bot. It's not going to go too well. The gate's going down. But I don't know if they can do too much more about that. Meanwhile, we can see the side of fensad were considering rotating up on Chromie, but did not in the end. Heroics through for both teams. Let's have a look. We have Isolation Dahaka. We have... I'm going to throw it down here while we are just seeing camps happen. Isolation Dahaka, Disintegrate Li Ming, Blink Heal Brightwing, Cocoon on Nubrak, and Dragon Arrow Hanzo, which we did here earlier. We do also have Bunker Drop on the Blaze, Rain of Vengeance Vala, High Fire of Lucio, Apocalypse Diablo, and Slowing Sands on the Chromie, which was picked up at level 8 with just how she works as a general hero. Right. We can see that fensad is just having a bit of priority in the mid lane. And it does definitely feel like that fensad are a bit... Well, I know they pick map pick, but they definitely feel more comfortable on this map at the present point in time. I don't know how their late game will go, because I have seen a few of their scrims and sometimes they hit a little hiccup around the mid to late game. But with how this is going so far, they should be fine. In saying that, ICC TBD have some very good tools to make it so it's not going to be fine. A stun chain anywhere between Diablo and Blaze could spell disaster for any one of these heroes. Especially once 13s come through for either team is when it gets particularly scary. Maybe not so much Li Ming. Oh, provided if she gets one of the damage bonuses. She'll do pretty well. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit late. I am interested in Ferocious Stalker, however. There's not that many bushes around. There'll be some fights where you just don't get that advantage. Psycho went actually a little bit deep. Does get hit by this A-bot combo. And will go down before phase shift come off because Chromie did have to... Not Chromie. Brightwing had to reposition around the APOC. But we do see Lucio is traded out in the process, so that's not the end of the world for them. Nice, getting a bunker. We see charge coming out to Grismore, however, not going to quite get anything done. Blaze hitting the charge on a Rug Lord. Dark Knight backing out, Chauncey low as well. And they know they're down 13s. They do have to back out, dude. And dude, what am I on about? Indeed, they do. Can I not get pinged every 5 seconds from one Discord I thought I muted? Right. We do see fights coming out, and actually Vala's goes down again. Sorry, people are just apparently messaging me right now. It's not ideal. Honestly, I'm going to close Discord. Just going to hide it temporarily. Right. We do see Robot Wizard and Grismore are working on that cavalry. Meanwhile, ICC TBD going to get their camps on the other hand. They are still down talents. They do need to take their time. Dark Knight just trying to... Not even trying to build Soulstone, just doing that off-soak in the meantime. Camp was got, nice. We do see a warning ping, which, yeah, Diablo can't actually go up there. But by this point, it will be a little bit too late. Diablo is pulled in. They're taking a decent amount of damage. Has to pop the soul shield for that. Takes a lot of damage, but 75 spell armor is a hell of a lot of spell armor. And they do get to hold on. Tongue doesn't quite find its mark. Come on, dude. Okay, I'm just going elsewhere. Right, we do see the free man of fensad just pushing in. ICC TBD are pushing up to defend now. Brightwing is top, but she does have global up. Similarly, Dahaka bottom does have global up. So, won't be the easiest defense by any means, because one of them could just end up in the other place. Which it looks like they've decided to just give bots going down either way. Dahaka's just going to push that. We may as well leave it for him. Dark Knight gets flipped on to Psycho. Psycho does burrow charge out before too much can happen. And we do see Rain of Vengeance used to try stop it before anything else could happen. But no, also, it's me, Corrosive. That's who it is. And we do see actually Rug Lord did burrow top, as I imagined. Nice stop onto Dark Knight. Does take a decent amount of damage. Pops his spell armor. 69 on it. Nice. Charges Rug Lord. Rug Lord not quite finding the Q. Dragon Arrow hitting Greek Fire, which meant that, well, Diablo got stunned by it as well. Greek Fire push off around the wall. And they'll be them holding on to fight another day. Don't go back in. I imagine we're going to see a boss play. Oh, Diablo did have Soulstone up. So they are back immediately. That's kind of a main thing to note here. And we are just going to get a boss trade, maybe? It feels that way. It feels very much a boss tradey way. We see Zerolith and Dark Knight ready to go. They're going, oh, yeah, nah, A. Yeah, let's go in A. But no, we do have top already melted by the side of fensad. And we are going to get bottom trying to be taken apart. But I don't think that fensad would get there in time even if they wanted to. They'll be close. But I don't know. Right, cheers, mate. But yeah, as I said, it was close, but they weren't quite there. They will likely have to defend. We do see Novabot and Zerolith backing. See, Chauncey is just going to be a little bit of distraction with that Mountain Giant. But Brightwing is up there with the side of fensad's Mountain Giant, but it will start getting hit before too late a minute. It does show us red. Okay. I'm pretty sure, but not quite sure. Zerolith stepping up through the boss. Honestly fine. Boss getting a decent amount down. They got one tower and gate. It may get half this one. One more hit. Yep. Meanwhile, bottom. Actually, the top boss got more. I guess it was a little bit that ICC TBD did get there later, so there is always going to be that bit of a delay on it. There is going to be that extra time it has to start doing damage. But yeah, it was relatively even boss damage despite one being on a keep. 16s are through for both teams. Interesting, we see auto attack build Hanzo. It's not the most often picked one, but it can do well in the right hands, and if they don't get a reset on them. Which, they're doing relatively well, and they're being pretty well protected by Psycho and Dahaka most of the time. We see Psycho does try to channel it, does get forced out a little bit. Burrows in, hits Seraph, but no, that is heavy casters pushing through. Psycho's going to take a lot of damage, get stunned again, and that is Vim. As I said, if there's just one good stun chain on Vim, that's Vim going down. Unstopped used by Greek Fire, Chauncey. While it does have that diminished vision, can at least use their abilities and hit things still. But that was a lot of buttons pushed, and a Nubrak going down. Which, if you're the... Oh. Are you sure about... Yeah, I was going to say, are you sure about that Dark Knight? But no, it looks like Dark Knight decides to back out. Grismore is just going to be trying to get these orb resets. Doesn't quite find anything this time. Nice stun onto Dahaka. Dahaka needing to use that burrowing claws. Gets out. Polymorph and Tongue coming out to Diablo. Diablo going down. Greek Fire tried to high five him out. Takes a lot of damage from the efforts and will go down. Seraph, yeah, sure, got the objective, but that doesn't matter anymore. You need to run as well, and that objective will just be taken back by the minions. And what turned out to be such a good start for ICC TBD didn't quite go as planned by the end. Yeah, that's why. Right, we do see objective is now being started for fensad, which, I'm going to be honest, I do like the name fensad a lot. It is a good one. You see Robot Wizard is clearing that top tower. Jazzy Fast with them. Those quick auto attacks do actually a considerable amount. If you can get that up and going and not dying, you do really well, which I think I've already said before, but we'd see them, they are just executing it pretty good, pretty well, pretty nicely. Alright, we see Psycho has been left to deal with the objective, while the rest of the team we're just getting that extra push on. ICC TBD really going to have to muster a strong defense here. We have a talent tier advantage over the fensad as well as objective coming up. There is going to be a hard fight here, to say the least. Because we do see they picked up that Contagion on Dahaka. Telrash's elements. We do see that he's flipped over once again, and that is a good stun chain. And that is Psycho going down. What looks like was going to be a good push for the side of fensad suddenly looks a bit less likely, as losing your tank like that really is rough. Because I was about to go, yeah, they have Rewind to get up, they have Blink, they have Invisible Friends Brightwing, but can't save that, unfortunately for them. Maybe if Brightwing had like Phase Shift, could get there immediately and blink out to a minion or another close by allied hero, maybe they would have held on, but no. Just a little bit too much CC for them to get out. And even if Jazzy Fast did go in, there's no guarantee she wouldn't be get caught out in that kind of stun train as well. Nice long tongue by Ruglord. We see the high five coming out. Speed Boost trying to get Dark Knight out. We see it slowly ticking up. Another high five coming out. And Seraph just in case tongue was back up again. It was not. And we can see this building is relatively quickly going down. Maybe not as quick as but like Ruglord finds a target. Finds a tongue onto Diablo once again. We can see that it is going to go down. But the building is alive. And actually, ICC TBD have done a very good job defending this. All the buildings are up. I guess it does help that Chromie does have her level, well, her Storm Talon already. Thanks to her trait, she does get it 2 levels early. Which Piercing Sands can do a hell of a lot. Doesn't help Novabot did just give Grismore a reset, but Grismore is backing out. And the team are looking to do that bottom boss, which, yeah, may as well. It is going to be basically taking down this keep in one hit. If I was to guess, just one hit would do it. And while we can see top is camp is going to be taken by ICC TBD. Fensad just getting boss now, so they won't have a chance to do top boss. They will likely need to go defend. But 20s are now through for ICC TBD, as we do have Mixing Fire Lucio, which I don't know why I've started with the middle, but we also have Creed of Hunter Vala, Hellgate Diablo, Enhanced Bunker Blaze, and Dragon Arrow being used top by Hanzo, but no, Piercing Sands Chromie as I said earlier. But yeah, we see Hanzo did just rip Dragon Arrow down to 59 seconds, but which, yeah, I mean, if anyone was on there, that would have been huge, and sometimes you just need to take those gambles when you are playing this game. And it should be very much ICC TBD realizes what's happening. Yeah, boss was taken pretty quickly, pretty swiftly. So now, fensad. What are you going to do? I'd say I like the idea to push. You can get a lot done with this. If you can get this building down, it makes it so ICC TBD need to defend, but we do see they are rallying to the side of the keep. Unfortunately, the keep goes down before too long. They do need to take care of the boss and Dahaka side, but we see a nice combo coming out onto Brightwing immediately. Brightwing actually unable to do anything. Is eventually able to blink heal out, but Psycho doesn't quite have the same nicely. Oh, Lucio dies to an orb. We see Hanzo auto-attacking Vala down. Tongue hitting Diablo a bit. Minus armor doing so much, and there'll be a third kill. Stun finds just Chromie. Novabot is going into their sands. Going to wait up for full time. Not quite, but goes down now. Meanwhile, we do see bosses hitting core. Dark Knight's going to do their best to defend, as well as Chauncey. But it looks like that may be the first game, unless anything goes drastically wrong for fensad. But nope, that is the first game of the series, going over the side of... Oh, they're stalling out a little bit. fensad. GG's teams. GG's. Well played. Hey, let's go over here. Oh. Turns out we had a fensad believer. My word. Who? Someone's earning a decent amount of points here. Right, choose outcome. fensad won that first round. They kind of ran it down. That was actually a very strong showing from fensad. I don't think ICC TBD felt very comfortable on that map, especially compared to fensad. There was just some lanes missed in terms of soak. There were... I don't think they got us... No, they didn't get ejected. They didn't get fought. And that kind of does... That's not a great start if you're ICC TBD. That's kind of putting you already at a kind of mental deficit, almost. But it's something you need to come back from. But we can see here, looking at the scoreboard, relatively even siege between Blaze and Dahaka. 6k in it, with Soak 2k in it. So, good start. Hero damage, Hanzo did a lot, so did Li Ming. The next closest was Chromie. I'm 36. And actually Dahaka almost, not almost, but didn't quite, neither Vala or Chromie's damage compared to that of Hanzo and Li Ming, so very well played by both those players. Healing, Lucio tried the best, right wing as well. Brightwing, I'd say, considering how much damage Lucio is taking, they're doing very well to try to keep everyone up, and sometimes... Crossover, why the hell would you actually say that? But we do also have self-healing done relatively close. I don't know why I'm mentioning that. The thing to note here is that while ICC TBD did have difficulties that match, they still did a lot of damage onto fensad. Like, Anubrak still went down 5 times, which, as a tank, that means you could front to back pretty well. And there wasn't really too many answers from fensad to stop that. Which, unfortunate, but it does happen. I'm just going to check a few things. Okay, cool. Okay, I've got to remember that on the screen to show what's happening. In terms of talents, let's have a look. Everything's relatively straightforward. I do like Hanzo auto attack build. Good all-round kind of... Well, I'm not good at it. But it is a build that does well given the right circumstances, and apparently we were in the right circumstances. He did get a lot of use out. You got a lot of damage out of it. That damage from the auto attacks, especially once that 16 came through, did a lot. Otherwise, everything is relatively straightforward. Yes. Right, let me throw on over to our map view screen, and I guess we'll find out where we're going as soon as the either team tells us what is going to happen. Alright, give me a moment. Right, there we go. So, what do we think we're going to get, eh? I could take guesses, but there's no way I can be certain. So I'm just making sure I don't accidentally start an ARAM while I'm just like mindlessly clicking around. Because that would probably not be a great look. I gotta remember I actually gotta keep an eye on this here because I don't just post in the chat. Who's someone that I know will be in? Okay, let's just hold over these two. These two on opposite teams, that's great. So knowing the bands, knowing the hit players, do we think that... Let's say ICC TBD choose map pick. Just because map pick has seemed to be a very strong choice when it's come to playoffs so far. It seems like the team that map pick often gets a win on that map. So let's say it's ICC TBD. What do you want to do here if you're them? Because Ultrac was one of your better maps up until that game. Maybe Tomb of the Spider Queen? That would be my best guess. Maybe Gunterra, maybe Tomb of the Spider Queen. Both of those would look like pretty strong contenders. Okay, I'm going to guess Tomb. Tomb would be my guess if ICC TBD picks map. On the other hand, if we get fensad again, will there be any different kind of strategies coming here? They haven't actually played all that many maps this season. Towers of Doom they do pretty well on, so my main two guesses are going to be Tomb of the Spider Queen if it is ICTBD guessing, and Towers of Doom if it was Towers of Doom. No, it wasn't. Well, yeah, Towers of Doom if it is fensad. But I guess we will have to wait and see as these teams are taking their time. Good old love that. Let me scroll back down. And it is indeed Tomb of the Spider Queen. Okay. And it does appear to be that ICC TBD chose the map. I do sometimes figure out things. So, the brain feeling big here. Feeling strong. But right. I would be interested to see how this one goes. Well, considering the last one did feel quite favored towards fensad, but it did appear to be a map they have played a fair amount. It could go either way here as well. Let me just say I'm ready. But hopefully this is a stronger showing for ICC TBD, and I want them to at least make this a free map series. I don't want to go through this whole kind of playoff season just to cast nothing but 2 map series. Which I think someone will give me some excitement. I hope. I pray. Fingers crossed. Right, so let me check a few things. Was it really that I was the only one to get the 2-0 map? Yep, I was the only person to get a 2-0 this round so far. Interesting, but right. Ooh. Looks like we are just waiting a little bit longer for one of the teams, but that is fine. They did just play a relatively longer series, so they are able to take their time. And I can stall a little bit. Not much. I'm not great at... I am great at talking, but I'm not a great talker. Conversationalist. It makes it much harder when there's a 30-second delayist. Yeah, 30-second delay definitely does make it more difficult just to have a chat with chat. Which, I know it sucks, but... we don't want anyone just kind of sneaking around, snooping, trying to go like, oh, what are they doing? What are they doing? Or like, oh, yeah, stream sniping. Nah, that's not quite what we want here, but it does happen. I know that people in general, I hope people in NGS in general are pretty good at not stream sniping, but you'll never know, and that's why we do run with delays. Good old anti-cheating methods. We're getting a lot of readies, but not a lot of movement. I'm just waiting with beta brief, like, what are we going to happen? When are we going to go? Just the anticipation is insane. Oh, crikey. Oh, I'm feeling like an old man today. Right. Just watching everyone just... I don't know really what to feel when I don't have anything to interact with as much. It's very difficult. This is probably one of like the hardest things I find, especially with these like with these live casts. When you do have this downtime where there is the delay on chat, there is the just waiting for the next map to get ready. You got like, man, what do I do? I know a lot of people do just throw it over the break, but I do like kind of analyzing and talking in between. I'm not very good at analyzing. I at least go like, oh yeah, both of those maps seems to team fight kind of teams. One had a very set stun comp. One had a bit more of a general poke and finish. And the poke and finish did win out over the stun comp. But we do now hear Tomb of Spider Queen is rolling. So let's get on over into the game, shall we? As I remember how to push my buttons correctly. But as we had, Tomb of Spider Queen was map picked by ICC TBD. So, yeah, of course, if I just said I'm not doing that, ICC TBD can. Meanwhile, we do have Junkrat banned out immediately by fensad, so they have first pick. What's going to happen on the other side? Does it slow countdown? I need to probably make a break screen. That's what I'm thinking about. I don't have a, like, be right back screen, do I? I do not have a be right back screen. Cool. Amazing. Good time to find that out. Next ban. What are we going to get? So we do have Anduin. Nice. Always good round one. We do then have Leoric banned out. This Leo is getting banned out a fair amount. This guy, I think in general, he's one of the more banned out heroes in, at least for the Bruiser pool. For Bruiser pool, he's probably one of the most banned out. Similarly, Anduin probably banned a lot for healer. I wouldn't think he's the most, but I definitely think he's up there. And then Junkrat is just a good all-round hero. So imagine we'd see quite a few bans of him as well. Vala maybe, Joanna maybe. Hanzo, they do not want to deal with that again, which, fair enough. Yeah, absolutely fair enough. Yeah, Anduin's up there for bans, yeah. Junkrat also quite high. What do I... And we do see Hogger is picked up first. Ruglord is going, yep, you know what? I wasn't allowed to do it last time. I'm doing it this time. Right. Next picks for ICC TBD. We have 1 and 2 slot. I was going to say, Joanna wasn't banned this time. We do see Joanna's picked up, and Stukov is to follow. Stukov actually being the most banned healer. Because good old Joanna W into a Stukov E can do a lot to slow down the team. And that's stun into silence. It's not much you can do after that happens. You've got to walk out of a puddle. Meanwhile, see, Lucio is picked up by Jesse Fast this time, not by, well, Greek Fire, because Greek Fire chose otherwise. And Grismore chooses Jaina, which I don't know how often I've seen her play Jaina, at least when watching her streams. Oh, it's been picked up a few times. Not the most picked up hero of hers, but still picked up a lot. Well, picked up more than others. Nubrak banned out for the tanks. Reasonable. Nubrak did pretty well last game. But, like, we still have Diablo up. We have Garrosh up. Blaze is still up. Is probably the big thing. Tychus banned out once again, which makes me think we are going to get to one of these bigger tanks. But, right. The clock is ticking. Next 2 picks. Damage. Sylvanas Varian. Is this going to be a Smash Varian? Hopefully. Is it going to be Twin Blade? Maybe. Is it going to be Taunt? Unlikely, but still possible. But I do like Sylvanas. I do like Sylvanas on this map, especially if you have a Web Weavers pushing. Those black arrows do a lot to knock those towers. And if without that extra damage from towers, the objective becomes a lot more potent. We'll have to see how well that is utilized, though, because it very much depends how the game goes for ICC TBD. We see Diablo is picked up by Psycho, and Vala picks up... Well, Robot Wizard picks up Vala, not Vala picks up Robot Wizard. Which, Vala may be strong enough to pick him up. I don't know. And we have Nazebo rounding up the composition. Right, it is very much ICC TBD simultaneously do and don't want to get to 20. Meanwhile, there's a far more all-round comp from fensad, which I think I prefer ICC TBD's composition here. However, the big question mark is Nazebo. I guess Spider Build does make it much easier for them, but maybe not. We'll have to see. But right, I'm going to roll those opening kind of roll, and we'll see you on the other side.
Oh, a swap. Oh no, but a swap followed by a light bomb.
Here. 4-man mosh pit followed by a tomb. Oh no!
Oh, a huge light bomb coming in on the Genji, and that's a 5-man light bomb. They're gonna follow up, and they're gonna get 1, 2, 3 kills.
And it's gonna be everybody dying. Oh my god, when does this happen? Everybody's dead.
Right, and we are in on the side of ICC TBD. We have Greek Fire on the Stukov Novabot, on Nazebo, Dark Knight, Varian, Cyrillith, Sylvanas, and Chauncey on that Joanna. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side, we do have Robot Wizard Vala, Ruglord on the Hogger, Psycho on the Diablo, and Grismore on Jaina. I feel like I missed someone. Jazzy Fast on Lucio, I think it's like the one I missed. I don't know. But it turns out I'm getting just worse and worse in names as time goes along. That is a sign of aging and brain issues happening, so not ideal to know if you're me, but I like the bold prediction of Taunt Varian with Joe solo. It's possible, do not get me wrong, but would be interesting to say the least. We see Chauncey stepping up. The wave going down pretty quick, actually. And that is a flip and stun onto Chauncey. Iron Skin popped just before the... Oh, actually, it's via silence. I'd say before silence can get down. I apparently am slocking on my camera work once again. Cyrillith stepping up a bit too far. Ruglord barely not hitting that Q onto them. You can see Variant's already bottom. You see Charge hitting Chauncey, but no, not quite going to go down. But we'll have a look at how things are going in terms of talents. You know, I give more... kind of, it could be Taunt Variant when I see Overpower at level 1. Because that can do very well with Taunt Variant. Psycho is going to be stuck in the silence and the root. Well, the silence and the slow. Not quite able to get out of that immediately, but does a lot. Meanwhile, we see Nazebo's gone Finger of the Deep at level 1, which is definitely an interesting choice. It's not often you see it anymore, but I do like it if you're wanting to double stock, because I imagine we'll see things such as Blood Ritual at level 4. Uproot, Dead Rush at 7, I think it's called. I can't quite remember. Other than that, we do have Jaina is actually Frostbite and somehow hasn't gotten a single stack of it, which I think is very impressive. I don't know how long that will last, but I guess it does lead to ICC TBD is doing very well to not walk into the Jaina Ring of Frost or anything like that. We'll just have Vala does have multi-shot build with Fire at Will at level 1. We do also have Diablo Soulstone and Fingers of Frost. Jaina was the last thing I forgot to mention. Good Bruiser Camp pickup by ICC TBD. They were doing that while fensad were doing the neutral Siege Camp, which Varian will have a little bit of difficulty dealing with for a few months, but will get a little bit easier for them in a moment. Forwards through for both teams now. Varian, what are you going to be? Chauncey is down here, so maybe it is Taunt. My god, Dizzy Wingman, you genius! It is an offlane Joanna with a Varian tank. Which, yeah, makes sense now we see a turnaround retaliation. Nice taunt coming out. There's Robot Wizard stuck in there. The Nazebo wall. And that is a kill onto the Vala. fensad just losing that poor squishy Nephilim. Dark Knight has been pinged in a bush. I mean, yeah, of course it makes sense. Dark Knight was the tank last round. What am I on about? I mean, I don't know. Everyone has their own strengths. I don't know what Dark Knight's is. I don't know what mine are half the time either. It's even just trying to deny these gems currently, which I do like the aggressive stance for it. deny those gems to make it harder for the opposition to do too much. Jazzy Fast goes for Boop, doesn't quite find it. The wave is getting slowly sieged down. And keep in mind that this left cap of fensad has yet to be done. They're just a bit busy fighting currently, which isn't necessary considering all gems are... Neither team is turning. Both teams are a little bit off. 7 off for one team, 6 off for the other. Maybe not for long, but more or less. Varian chases Jazzy Fast from the end of the world. Nice silence by Greek Fire. Diablo trying their best to get out. Takes a lot of damage in the meantime, but eventually that Nazebo wall goes down and he's able to drop out. Meanwhile, ICC TBD have that turn in. fensad just 1 off as well. Taunt coming out. There's the Nazebo wall. There's the silence. We're getting a very set game plan for the side of ICC TBD. Taunt, zombie wall, silence. Taunt, zombie wall, silence, etc., etc., etc. And all the while, you do have damage being pumped in by people such as the Sylvanas. That's her name, yes. But Joe's having a little scrap mid, taking a lot of damage process. Will Chauncey be able to get out? Yes, they do. No, they don't! They actually slightly walked back into the W. Dark Knight actually very aggressive compared to Rest. Grismore doing what damage they can. Dark Knight now, for one in trouble, gets flipped by Diablo. Going to keep walking. No, not able to get out. So there'll be Varian going down. And what looks like to be pretty good start for ICC TBD. Now it's definitely looking like it's shifting in the favor of fensad. Right, turn in now happening. It's not quite just them that have it. Unfortunately, we do still need Hogger to turn... Not Hogger, actually. Jaina turn in? Yeah, Grismore does need to turn in. It could have been Vala, but get as much off everyone as possible. Spread out the problem if someone dies. Psycho gets slapped in the butt by Dark Knight, which... It's a Varian, why not? We do see Varian get slipped. He is nearly in his own Nazebo wall this time. Not quite was intended. Jazzy Fast runs up, cancels the Lucio channel on the silence. Cyriliff low actually had to use Black Arrows here to help clear the wave, but we'll get out. Chauncey does pop Iron Skin in time. Psycho very much one of him, but not able to quite find him. We see Dark Knight slap Psycho a little bit more. There's not too much going to be coming from this, but it will at least be the first Web Weavers pushing in now for the side of fensad. Soulstone completed by Diablo. We do see Flip coming out to Chauncey, pushed back in. Blind coming out. Psycho going, that's a bit rude, mate. Don't know what you want from me there. We do see that. I can see back up. Blind coming out once again. What build of Diablo are we? We are, in fact, W build. But talking about builds, we do have Heroics online. We see Taunt coming out. We see Rain of Vengeance hitting both Snowbot and Dark Knight. Blue Web Weavers are still going. That bottom one's going to get decent amount of value. But we see that it is the Diablo going down first. That Q builds on... That Q at level 1 does a lot of damage if you're... Sylvanas, that extra spell power, and if you get the minus armor, this, that, and the other, lost soul. What does this do? I actually don't know what this does. Okay. Bad stacks, more shadow daggers, essentially. But meanwhile, one Web Weaver is still pushing bottom, not for long. Joanna is on it. Not the fastest clearer in the world for bigger things such as this, but still does alright. Yes. Kill those minions. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes. But we do see now that 10s are online for both teams. So we have Shockwave, Hogger, Ring of Frost, Jaina, High Five, Lucio, Apocalypse, Diablo, and Rain of Vengeance on the Vala. Meanwhile, on the other side, we have Blessed Shield on Joanna. Flame Swipe, Stukov, Mind Control, Sylvanas. I do like it. Taunt Varian was picked up at level 4. And then we do have Gargantuan Nazebo, who isn't quite at 100 stacks yet. They haven't really been able to play as aggressive with the stacking as they want, but they are still getting a decent amount done. But one team has Handham, one team does not. That's a lot of gems being currently held for fensad. Chauncey, so see if they can get anything there. Does blind the Hogger in the meantime. There's going to be a little bit of fight. Who has Chauncey? 23. A lot of gems. So I was going to say, who has the most gems? But it's relatively... It's relatively well spread out for ICC TBD. Cyriliff barely cancelled, but we can see Joanna, hands in bottom, And that will be the first Webweaver phase for ICC TBD. Which, bottom won't really get too much done. There's going to be a decent amount going into it. Dark Knight tried mounting, gets dismounted immediately. Unfortunate for them. Who is trying? And we do see now waves are going down. Webweaver drops. Taunt coming out onto Jazzy Fast. Jazzy Fast caught with the Zebo wall. And there'll be them going down. I mean, we see a nice shockwave from Hogger. Greek Fire using those flailing swipes, pushing everyone out. And that will be that fight kind of over before it truly gets going. But now we're seeing a strong push here. And this is where these Black Arrows do well. Dark Knight charges a tower instead. I think we were originally meant to be getting Diablo, but Diablo must have walked to the left right as they went to push on them. And that's why we get a charge to the wall. This time it won't be a charge to a wall, but instead it will be Dark Knight being flipped back in. Ring of Frost coming out. Nova Bot, Dark Knight fighting the center, getting torn out to Hogger. Hogger taking a decent amount of damage. You know, Robot Wizard Grismore relatively low. Jazzy Fast doing the best to keep them up. But no, it is just a disengage if you're the side of ICC TBD. But that is everything down. And both teams have turn-ins. Still roughly 70 gems for ICC TBD. But fensad, 59 of their own, will be able to turn in when they choose. Speaking about choosing, Seraph and Zebo turn in immediately. I should say Novabot turns in immediately. Grismore doing their best to turn in. Isn't able to do so. Chauncey walks through a bush at the worst time possible for Jaina. Looks like no one's going to be able to interrupt Dark Knight or Greek Fire. So we're going to have back-to-back Webweaver phases for the side of ICC TBD. And this is not what you want if you're a team such as fensad. Because you don't have the best clear. Like, yeah, sure, you have Jaina who does very well, like amazing even, but I don't know where I'm going at this point. Webweavers are big. Yeah. Webweaver big. That's my kind of go-to statement there. Right, we see charge come out. Dark Knight doing the best to defend. Q hitting Psycho, and this is Webweavers pushing in now. Gargantuan dropped as well, and it likely will be mid-fort going down, depending how well there's defense coming out. Nice cleanse by Jazzy Fast. I'm going to close this because it's getting winner. Diablo getting a flip stun combo onto, onto the Sylvanas, and Sylvanas actually goes down. Psycho is trying his best to clear the Webweaver. Does so now. Nice silence by... nice silence by Lucio. However, with that boop onto the Nazebo wall, it made it even less of a room for Jaina to kind of walk around. And they went down because of it. They really had nowhere to go. Because even if you boop those minions, you don't necessarily... You're no longer able to... how am I phrasing this? Just because you move them doesn't mean they're still basically impassable. Chauncey getting chased out a little. We see Dark Knight looking for a taunt. The follow-up is there. We do see 1, 2, 3. That is Vala relatively low. That's 30 gems down like that. Psycho picking them up. Now up to a pincushion size. 53. Jazzy Fast. Nice boop. We do need to see Speed Boost helping him out. And that is a very, very sore Psycho. But they do at least get out with all 53 gems. Backs all the way up and we'll start halving. But 16s are through first for the side of fensad. So despite them being down structures and kills, they're upper level, they're upper talent tier, but they're down a lot of things. It's quite an interesting situation to be in. We do see they scout them. Dark Knight has been found. They're not going to step into boss, however. They decide the Sand Golem is not worth it, not worth dying for. Or at least fighting for, I should say. Would probably be a better way to put it. We can see now Sand Golem is going to be pushing up the lane. Lord Robot Wizard going to be starting to defend that. fensad does have turn-in. That's the thing. No, ICC TBD are still working their way back towards their third. Right, that boss is slowly going to go down. Meanwhile, we see Chauncey turn in. Dark Knight doesn't have any anymore. He doesn't need it. He's like, I'm good. I've had my fill. Turned in. I'm feeling pretty good right now. So Lucio is going to step up. Warning ping comes out. Dark Knight is found. There is a light in the dark. I don't know how I feel about that sentence. Q goes out onto Psycho. Psycho has Turnin alone. That's insane. Variance banner gets dropped. They aren't able to get to Psycho in time. They do get the Turnin. And that is the second objective for fensad, but the fourth one overall. It looks like they just wanted to clear the cap. Psycho gets hit with a slow. That's 40 gems. He doesn't quite die of it. Nazeba wall comes up. Awkward spot. Doesn't quite do anything, however. Psycho taking a lot of damage for a full health Soulstone Diablo. But now it looks like we are going to get another big fight coming out at some point. Both teams are 16s. Both teams want... Well, one team wants building. One team wants to get rid of building. Oh, I'm tired. Oh my god. But looks like structures are about to be evened up by fensad. Chauncey doing the best, however, to slow things down, which they're doing very well, actually, in doing so. Sealif getting very aggressive, gets hit by a double stun. Fortunately for them, their Haunting Wave was up long enough. Psycho gets mind controlled out of the Nazeba wall. However, there is still a Silence Puddle in the way. And that is 43 gems. Ruglord is only able to grab half of them. So we're up to 29 now. Unfortunately, Ring of Frost does not quite find the mark that they were needing. And that is, once again, another good fight for ICC TBD. They were needing this game. Cool. Right, let me do this. W coming out. We do see that very much... Despite fensad not having a great phase, they do still want buildings, and they do eventually get it. Meanwhile, Chauncey is in an aggressive position. Looking like they want to interrupt the rotations, but don't, just because they know between Psycho, Royal Wizard, and Fezzyjast, if that's not even wrong, like Jazzy Fast, there is a lot of quick engage and disengage that can even hurt tanks at this point, especially because I believe we're magical. Oh well, look at that, we do. But yeah, everything looking relatively standard here so far. Oh god, I've gone over to Hogger. Fight is coming out without Hogger. Let's zoom back out. Psycho gets hit with a E. We see him going back in, stunning Dark Knight straight into the wall. Mind control being used, not quite finding anyone. Cyrillif looks like they're fishing for a Robot Wizard, but we're able to do so. Nice cleanse on Dark Knight. Dark Knight, however, is a bit too far away. We'll go down. However, during that death, ICC TBD did get a turn in. Cyrillif is doing the best to escape. We see doesn't quite get it done. ICC TBD didn't manage to escape the clutches of fensad. However, may have spoken too soon, as we do see Greek Fires push back in, trying their best to walk out. They do so. Ring of Frost actually finds the Sylvanas probing Will of Forsaken and gets out. Quite a few heroics there, quite late into it, but they, being ICC TBD, held on really well. And you can see there's such an aggressive defense here from fensad. They are not wanting to lose any other structures of this game. They're wanting to seal the deal here, which I do like it. I do like the we are going to stop you. And fears. Oh my god, I'm tired. Not going to be a chance that you guys can step into us. Step into our structures? Yeah, I feel like it sounds a bit better. The power wanes as, well, third objective for one team, fourth objective for the other. Where are we going to go? Good record. Yes. Just listen to that ASMR. Yes. Anyway, back to the action. We do see actually is the Diablo going down first. Fractal getting a nice triple stun. However, with how things are going down, that's a little bit early for a Diablo to die. But I guess Lucio is not known for his single target healing capabilities. He's very much the AoE healer. But if he can get it off, he can do amazingly. Oh god, end of work day, I'm so tired, I'm so sorry guys. Greek Fire getting a hand in, Novabot as well. But keep in mind it is fensad with the main turn in. Ruglord finds Varian in the bush, does a decent amount of damage. Does get that hog spin going before Silence is put directly under them. And they do get out before there could be a major reset. But 20s of fruit for both teams is probably an important thing to note here. We do have no control Hogger. We do have an engage coming up from Dark Knight going back onto Hogger once again. Mind control finding them. They are getting relatively low. There's them with 31 gems going down. Which, that was the turn for fensad. They needed to keep that person alive. You can see Robot Wizard trying their best to hold on. Jazzy Fast trying to keep him alive. They do so. Fortunately, the poison from Sylvanas Dagger, I believe, didn't quite take him out. Another boss play. Interesting. It very much is. I see. Wait, did I read anything out? No. But it is very much for ICC TBD are wanting to secure at least this map win and move it on to a map number 3. Right. It is going to do a little bit of a slamming. We do see object coming up. No bot caps that Chauncey is backing. And this is now going to need to be a strong defense by fensad, as Sand Golem, while not the best boss in the world, still does a lot. So I'd like to see how well they do. Hattenden is once again available for fensad, is the important thing to note here. Alright, to quickly cover in 20, as I said, no control. Hogger, we do have Cold Snap on Jaina. Mixing Fire Lucio, Hellgate Diablo. Oh god. Farflight Quiver Vala, then on the other side we have Radiating Faith and Joanna. Stukov went that top off. Dark Lady's Call Sylvanas. Nazebo also has completed his quest. And once again, it looks like it'll be a turn-in for the side of ICC TBD, which fensad are really struggling into this. They don't really have the answers. I think they can find them, but it's turning out to be quite difficult. Psycho just backing out. Robot was making sure they're not going to get caught either. It looks like that maybe there's a change in idea. No, they are just going to stick mid. Interesting. Very interesting. Alright, fight is coming out. Nice early amount of damage from the side of ICTBD with silence reset coming off. Ruglord nearly giving it back just then. Mind control finding Vala. 23 coins down like that. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3 kills coming out. That back line's down, and that may be all she wrote for this map. Diablo picked up as much as they could. No control, doing their best. But everyone held on for ICC TBD, so they're going to be getting this building right about now. And that looks like it may be the map. Yep, GG called by Ruglord. Psycho doing their best. Does get taunted immediately. Does get mind controlled immediately. Does nearly get another taunt hit from the Joanna. But they do Hellgate out. And that looks like it'll be the second map of the series. Going over the side of not fensad, but ICC TBD. Well played, guys. Well played. Right, let me change it on over to the game summary screen. Yes. Right, in terms of stats, Vala did an amazing amount of siege and hero damage, but unfortunately wasn't quite what fensad needed here. Robot Wizard did their best, but to just fell a little bit short. Meanwhile, in terms of siege and hero damage for the other team, Joanna and Nazebo kind of shared the load, so to speak. And Nazebo doing the most hero damage, Joanna doing the most siege. And most soak, yeah. Meanwhile, Hogger had the most soak for the side of ICC TBD. Looking at talents real... Oh my god, they had that map so quick. Talents for the other team, we do have relatively straightforward, but I need to get myself straight into the next lobby because they set that up so quick. Because we have Towers of Doom. Which, I like Towers of Doom. But this is the other map that I went, okay, if it's fensad map picking, it is going to be Towers of Doom. Lo and behold, we do get Towers of Doom. But picked by fensad. Which, in all honesty, what's expected. It's good to know I do kind of understand what is going to happen at this point. We hear Chauncey is straight. Yep, Chauncey was briefly just sitting on the side of fensad. It does happen, but does eventually get thrown back over to ICC TBD. Alright, it looks like we are waiting for people to come in. So, that was a good last map. These have been very good series so far. Both teams definitely having a more dominant map in this series. Fensad having first one of Ultrac, ICC TBD having the second one. But fensad looks like they are very good on this map, from my understanding. An 83% win rate after 6 games? That's incredibly high. And for ICC TBD, they don't quite have that same win record on this map. They only have a 33% win rate on this map, which will be difficult for them. It is not by no means am I saying, yeah, they're just going to roll them. It's no, they're going to have a hard fight. So I am very much looking forward to this. I think that ICC TBD have an uphill battle, but they can do it. They did have signs, they did have their moments in that first one, where they kind of nearly had a breath of fresh air. That second one was very good. So they currently do have a momentum. That's kind of the main thing I've got to give to them. They do have a momentum. Keep it going. See what you can do. Sorry, I'm just having a look at things. But yeah, as I say, momentum on the side of ICC TBD currently. But by it being a map that very much fensad favors, momentum can only get so much done. Let me just note that I am ready when everyone else is. But I guess that everyone will be thinking about, what do we ban? What do we pick? What do we go? Rada. But it looks like fensad do have a relatively good track record on this map, so they probably know what they're wanting to do and sticking to their normal bans. But I do wonder if ICC TBD have to figure things out a bit more. Let's see, Li Ming is a common... Li Ming is a very common theme, actually. You can see that she was picked on both most recent maps. Tahaka picked up, Leoric picked up. Healer, tank, interchangeable, yep. Li Ming is probably the thing you need to ban. Oh, God. Oh, my body is ready for sleep, but my head is not. Yeah, so that will be there, but what about the other team? What about ICC TBD? What have they done before? A few heroes shared, actually. Leoric shared, Anduin shared. They've kind of thrown things at the wall and seeing what happens, but they haven't managed to find something that happens yet. Joanna picked up each of these times as an off lane by the looks of it, which maybe not the best double soaker, but can still get a decent amount done. So I imagine we're going to stick to the relatively safe bans that have happened so far. For just the opposition's all around kind of, this is what we want to do heroes. Which, yeah, fair enough. That would be what I do. Just stick to the age-old bans. One MIA. Oh. We're just waiting on one. I was wondering when that was going to happen. Just it is. But fair enough, people need to do what they need to do. Fortunately, I am ready and rearing to go. I'm like, yes, game. Oh, God. But no worries. We do at least have a bit of time as well. This should be a fun one. But looks like one team is ready now. It looks like both teams may be ready. I'm not repeating what they're saying. I just want to point that out. They're saying some interesting things. Nothing like overly bad, just kind of gross. As we see, it is about to be starting up, so let me get ready to go on into the draft screen. Come on. As we get Towers of Doom. And we have Dark's biggest fan, OG Stunnel Take? What was I about to say? Tunnel Snake is in supporting them. Good to see that Dark does have such a big fan. But as I said, we did have map picked up by fensad, so ICC TBD is going to be first picking, first banning, etc., etc. I would like to see Li Ming banned. I don't know if it will be, but we'll have to see, won't we? Anduin banned out first, relative face first. My words are failing me, that's how tight I am. Relatively safe first ban, Joanna then banned out on the other side, which, yeah, did a lot. Joanna, good all-round tank, turns out, and still does pretty well in the offlane, which, yeah, what a surprise. Joanna's always been good at kind of getting that extra soakers needed. She's been known as the macro tank from time to time. It was affected a bit when she was changed from her old kind of talents and such to the new ones, but she could still do a lot as I accidentally move away from my Cassandra nearly fall over. And Hanzo banned out once again. Yeah, the Hanzo did a lot in the first game. You do not want to run into that auto attack Hanzo once again. Stukov banned out. Reasonable. Do we get a Lucio pick? I almost want to say yes. A Lucio pick may actually be nice here. Just because it does appear that both teams do play it. High Five does so well. And you do have larger sustaining points, which we can see why the Stukov was banned out. But no, Vala is picked up first. Good safe first pick. Doesn't really reveal too much of what you want to do. Just team fights pretty well. And in all honesty, this is a map you do need to team fight pretty dang well on. But right, next pick for fensad. First 2 picks for fensad, I should say. Are we going to get heal and damage? There's Li Ming. And Dahaka. You know what? That is fair. Dahaka is a great hero on this map. Good global presence. A lot of bushes for him to gain that move speed through. May as well. Brightwing and a Nubrak then picked up by the side of ICC TBD. Relatively safe picks once again. Leoric. I imagine we're going to see a Leoric ban in all honesty. Leoric, Blaze, Hogger, any of those 3 will be banned out here. Maybe Hogger. Maybe Leoric. One of those 2, I think. Sylvanas actually is banned out, which, you know what? Fair enough. Sylvanas is a tricky customer to deal with. May as well ban her out. But I'm interested as to why they didn't. I guess I just really don't want to deal with Sylvanas. I thought, for some reason, wait, was Sierra left for Sylvanas last game? I believe so, actually, now I'm saying it out loud. So yeah, makes sense. And we see Lucio is banned by ICC TBD, so new healer is going to need to be picked up by fensad. I haven't seen him picked too many healers on this map. Brightwing. Malfurion. I do like a little bit of Malfurion. A little bit of Malfurion? A little bit of Malfurion. But I'm getting more serious. Maybe we see... I don't know. Cassia and Lily. A blind composition. Oh. Are we going to see May to round out that then? May would be an interesting one to say the least. Gives Robot Wizard a lot of extra blind bonuses to kind of snowball off of to get with that damage. But by no means would it be the best tank for this situation, especially into a Nuparak. Oh. And Nubrak being one of those, there's Leoric and there's Jaina to round it out. I did think Leoric was going to be picked up. I didn't know about that last slot. Meanwhile, Psycho's the last one to pick their hero. They still have a few tanks available to them. They have Blaze, they have May. They have a Nubrak. A Nubrak's a fun one. Diablo's a fun one. ETC. But no, instead we get Muradin. Which, hell yeah, I like the jumpy dwarf with a hammer. As opposed to the flying dwarf with a hammer. I like both dwarfs with hammers, actually. Now I say that out loud. I prefer Uther, man with hammer. But dwarfs with hammers, still pretty nice. Anyway, we are having a clock tick down. I think this should be a good map once again. Be interesting to see. I think it'll be the closest. I think it can be the closest one, but we'll have to see how it goes. See you on the other side of the opening roll. Well, just a few moments. Well, now.
Oh, a swap. Oh no, but a swap followed by a light bulb.
Here. 4-man mosh pit followed by a tomb. Oh no!
Oh, a huge light bomb coming in on the Genji, and that's a 5-man light bomb. They're gonna follow up, and they're gonna get 1, 2, 3 kills.
And it's gonna be everybody dying. Oh my god, when does this happen? Everybody's dead.
Right, so predictions are up. On the left-hand side of fensad, we have Robot Wizard on the Cassia, Grismore on Li Ming, Jesse Fast on the Lily, which is an interesting one. Psycho is on the Muradin and Ruglord on Dahaka. Me on the right-hand side, we have Chauncey, Leoric, Novabot on the... Pew, 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 pew. Her name is Vala. Meanwhile, Dark Knight and Rubrak. Why did I say Rubrak before? He was already picked. Yeah, Dark Knight and Rubrak. Cyrillif on the Jaina. And Greek Fire rounding out the composition on the Brightwing. So both teams have globals. Both teams do decent amounts of damage. Dark Knight taking damage a lot already. As you see, Chauncey step up, take a swing, jump back out. Psycho jumps out, breaks the tether from Chauncey. You can see now that abilities will begin trade once again. Psycho trying their best to do what they can. Dark Knight just sitting in a safe enough position, just letting the Beatles interrupt where they want to go. Which, smart play. Man, we have some believers in chat and some not. Dark Knight's biggest fan. You may want to support that Dark Knight guy there. And figure Hippopotamus for following. Alright, we do now have everyone coming on down. And it looks like that there will be a rotation coming out from ICC TBD. Maybe they want to try and catch up for Dahaka? Not on purpose, but they can still do a lot. Meanwhile, Ruglord is now in a dangerous position. Does rotate for one wave and expecting one. Burrows under the E of Q from Jaina. Does see if they can get out. That move speed does a lot to help them survive. And they get to live because of it. Nicely done. Hammer coming up from Psycho. Hits a bug. Not going to get really far, but it is what it is. Both caps being done. Let's go. Right, let me open up talents and see if we look at that real quick. We do have enhanced agility to Haka, which, I mean, was probably the one that I was always going to guess is going to happen. But Narcia is being picked up into things such as Leoric. We do also see Muradin baseline that hammer, that Stormbolt quest, which is incredibly hard to complete. Going to see if they can get that baseline done. We do also have the Thunderstroke Cassia. Baseline Jaina Frostbolt, Frostblast, Frost Presence, Frostbite, and Puncturing Arrow on the Vala. But right, that camp is already going down, and we do see the free sappers of the side of ICC TBD running in, which is the start you need. You need that extra aggression. You need to know what you're playing into. Good OG Tunnel Snake. Excellent. I do like brave bidders. You can earn it back eventually anyway. I think you're following Dizzy Wingman. You know, we can see there is people coming up onto Robot Wizard having to back out, taking a decent amount of damage. Getting a decent amount down onto Dark Knight though. Nice hammer onto Cyrilift. Cyrilift backing out for what they can. Grismore doing what damage he can. Hits 3 of those magic missiles onto Novabot. Novabot, a lot of health just disappearing in those few moments, but they didn't quite go down. And that is the first objective coming up now. Dahaka caught a little bit out of position, meaning Chauncey may have a chance to interrupt them when the chance comes. You can see Phase Shift coming out to Novabot. Jazzy Fast gets bottom. Chauncey's going to see if they can interrupt Ruglord. They may be able to, actually. No, not quite. They do back out, and that will be Trey top, and we do see fensad gets that bottom one. Q finds Grismore. Nicely done. But that splash from the orbs are doing a lot. They're doing a lot to let the team just freely poke. Dark Knight actually in danger. Has to get spell shielded by Greek Fire to get out and just make sure they're safe home with their loved ones. Which I don't know if Nubrak has many loved ones. He has his beetles. He has his children, I guess. Wait, her children? Their children? What is a Nubrak? I know they have a more masculine voice, but they do just spawn beetles. I have no clue how bug-like biology works, anatomy works. They're bugs to me, man. They are just bugs. I do not know. There used to be the theory that things such as flies just spontaneously appeared, which I can't quite remember what it's called. We do see a lot of damage coming out. Psycho, double stun coming out. Not quite going to go down. Enough healing to keep him up. Lily, of course, getting the healing primarily on the target that's lowest, which, well, the target with the lowest percent health is probably the best way to put it, which in that case was Psycho. Looks like Dark Knight is being chased by Psycho. Psycho, however, can get turned around on if they're not careful. Do back out. Nice smart play. Right, they are clearing this camp relatively slowly, but meanwhile, already looking at bottom. This Sapper camp is stepping up. Do bugs have genders? You know what, Valoravia? That is a great question that I have not asked. Yes? Some do? Not all of them? We do see that Chauncey is already on theirs. Ruglord actually late onto their own one, so they may be interrupted. But no, it looks like there is the Grismore and Jazzy Fast there to interrupt, and none of them are able to get fully up. Also hope you're doing well today, Valoravia. But no, Psycho doesn't quite know that Dark Knight's in the bush. Grismore teleports across the wall. Robot was actually in danger. Does walk away, so Dark Knight doesn't hit that first stun. Does hit the second. No one's with them. So we'll see them go down. But meanwhile, we see Jaina traded up mid, so 1 for 1. Not terrible for either team, but we do see that fensad is still that little bit ahead. They are 4 shots ahead. And neither team sappers were able to get value at the end of that. How's the soak game going between Dahaka and Leoric? I do wonder. Leoric actually does have more soak than Dahaka currently. They are ahead on that minion XP, but they were about a minion wave ahead. Yeah, as you can see, that 1 minion wave let Dahaka catch up, so not too much really in it so far. Both teams are dead even. Just 4 shots in favor of fensad, but that can all change at any given moment. It is this map. It is Towers of Doom. That can go either way. So to touch on heroics, we do see that Isolation Dahaka once again disintegrate Li Ming. We do see Psycho taking a lot of damage. We do see Avatar from the odd Psycho as well. Jugs by Lily. Jug of 1,000 cups. Yep, Jug of 1,000 cups by Lily. And Lightning Ball Cassie. On the other side, we do have Water Elemental Jaina, which, for one, that's the one I usually pick. I'm not great with Ring of Frost. I seem to always miss it. But Water Elemental, just consistent. We also have Entomb Leoric, Blink Heal Brightwing. We have Vala QE queuing in. We also have a Rain of Vengeance of Vala. We see Cocoon coming up from New Bracken. That's the last one. Robot Wizard taking a decent amount of damage. We see that it is Jesse Fast getting that those jugs off, but it is Cassia going down first. However, that's 1 kill. That's 2 kills. Psycho's getting relatively low, however, holding on for what they can. These 2 beetles chasing them. Grismore getting what damage they can. Nice tongue by Ruglord. Dark Knight getting relatively low. Pops that spell armor. They're going to get chased. It looks like that it will be a 2-for-1 in favor of fensad. Come on, you have fans watching you, Dark Knight. You better get things rolling. I know you can. But it looks like that fensad are just going to be ahead a little bit. What, essentially 2 objectives? But they are working on these front gates, getting relatively low. No one doing camp, actually. Cassie are doing camp now. But it is going to be very much that once one of these teams get beyond these bottom forts, or keeps soon enough, it will be much harder for the other team to get into this whole bottom area. You have only one route in to, like, through here to get down here. Or you can just run straight past the fort. And meanwhile, while that fight was going on, Robot Wizard got everything done by themselves. While it did get Greek Fire, Serolith, and Overbot just up there to absolutely just demolish the camp, get it out as fast as possible. So we do have even camps coming in roughly the same time. However, it is a little bit of advantage in terms of fensad. They may barely hit 13s first, because we're at the point where Dahaka is moving very quickly through bushes. You can see they are keeping pace with a mounted Leoric. But right, 13s are through. And we do see Dahaka's like at their full capability of soaking. Nice hammer by Psycho. However, the damage isn't quite there to follow up on them. Right. I'll just activate in 25 seconds. Double ultra phase. Any kill here could potentially mean both ultras end up in favor of one team over other. But in all honesty, if you're fensad, you can just trade. You can just take that trade. It is ICC TBD who need to make those riskier plays currently. And they have only just found 13s now. So that is very good timing. Dahaka not quite down with it yet. But they are coming down now. Leoric, Chauncey thinking about channeling. But no, we do see Ruglord getting a nice tongue onto Greek Fire. Still doing the best to float away. Psycho having to pop the Avatar, and we do see a very split fight. Ooh, Leoric, Chauncey doing a lot. Greek Fire actually relatively low as well. Robot Wizard doing what they can survive. Everyone's up, but still very low. Greek Fire using phase shift onto Chauncey, doing a decent amount of healing. But it looks like Serolith is going to be channeling bottom. And I don't know if this side of fensad will get anything here. Or at least get anything immediately here, as we do see jump used by Psycho. However, Dark Knight did interrupt it. Novabot going on top of everyone else. Jesse Fast relatively low. Psycho as well. Rugglewood seeing a thing in nice tongue. They do not see an... Oh, they do see an overpriced Josh. Right, oh my god, nearly fell asleep. My disc. I am very tired, apparently. I'm sorry. Not this match is actually starting. I guess I just had a bad sleep last night. I'm so sorry to the teams if I am lacking in the actual casting department here. I'm trying my best. But we do have Greek Fire using a phase shift now onto Dark Knight. This mid objective is still up. And it will actually even things up if the side of ICC TBD do get it. We see Ball Lightning is being tossed between the side of ICC TBD. Robot Wizard doing this can back out. And Psycho trying to zone for them. Meanwhile, Grismore is being stopped from getting that turn in. Dark Knight does get the Cocoon onto Muradin. And it looks like Novabot will be able to get this. Nope. Ruglord coming in from behind. Does get tongue onto Novabot. Will take a decent amount of damage in process. We do see Q coming out from Grismore doing damage. Dark Knight actually relatively low. Their spell armor being popped. But nope, that is not enough. That armored carapace not enough. We do see a little bit of fight happening down here as well. But we do see that there's a lot of damage happening up top. And that is a kill. And like with this mid objective now going over to the side of fensad, which that was a long fight. This objective phase started what, around the 8.5 minute mark? And we're now at the 11 minute mark, let's say, by the time he died. So that's very well fought by both sides. And very good that only one person went down by now. Which I guess you can argue it's not great that it took that long to kill someone, but also it is very good that the teams managed to hold on to their players as well as they can. Oh, I'm not stressed, I'm just tired. I'm too tired for stress right now. Right, we do see that this mid-wave is going to get cleared. Novabot going for a Q. They are at 26 stacks. They are getting up there. And once the Acrobat comes in, that's going to be a very scary Vala. But Psycho is going to be able to dodge the Q. Does get a nice hammer onto Dark Knight's carapace there. Thorax. Abdomen? I can't remember bug biology. Part 2. We can see Robot Wizard is stepping up, doing some damage. We barely find a Greek Conveyor. We actually have our Arcane Orbit being picked up. So that was a max range one. It's going to do a lot as it gets down the track. Right, let me close this. As we do have... I do like that ICC TBD is just pushing. Like, we don't have a camp. They're doing theirs. Let's just get some towers and bog off, shall we? And we do see Grismore is down to try to defend it. Just picks up a globe. We can't really do too much about the Beatles and the wave. Psycho, no. Has some vision. They do see that everyone's going up. There's going to be a gank push set up mid. We do see Hammer coming up from Psycho. Doesn't quite find anyone. Dark Knight in a position to dive on someone. Grismore stepping up. Does get rooted. Nice cleanse by Jazzy fast. However, Psycho in danger now. Does use jump partway through the cocoon animation, but will be broken out pretty quickly. You know, we can see that everyone is down here now. Nice stun by Psycho. Chauncey giving that damage reduction. I imagine we're going to see Entomb soon enough. Nice freeze by the Jaina. We do see that it's a very split up fight. And Dahaka has briefly moved away to get that objective. And they are going to take him down now. We do see a lot of damage coming up. That's Robot Wizard going down first. They are the next one to go down. Chauncey seeing if we can get anyone else. Dahaka in the meantime getting the top objectives. Dark Knight has realized, but will Dark Knight make it? Ruglord is doing the best. Dark Knight barely doesn't. Ruglord gets it in time, and we see the bottom one is taken by Novabot. So while there was that massive fight taking place, it was actually Dahaka getting both top objectives, which, in all honesty, you may have lost one person, but it puts you in a very good striking range to end. Keep in mind, though, Dahaka has been scouted top. Chauncey is going to get phase shift on them. Ruglord just needs to leave. Yeah, great stacks on Cassia. Let's have a look. 57. She's definitely getting up there, but she has kind of hit her major power spike just now. Stack electricity. Yep. Not the PS, but the E can still get a lot done. The E build, if you get silence on if E at 16, if you get silence, not silence, blind on someone, does a lot of just extra burst. I know the Q is really good for poking, but if you're wanting to burst people down, such as the Vala and Jaina, who are a bit squishier for the range heroes, that burst can do a lot. Speaking of burst, almost 30 stacks on Vala Qs also does a lot. Chauncey does a little bit of a spectral jog, a spectral sojourn around the place. Doesn't quite get anything done with it, but definitely looked threatening. You can see Dark Knight's taking a decent amount of damage. We do see Cocoon coming out onto Li-Ming, and Li-Ming did actually make some distance between the two teams during the meantime. Ruglord actually got into... No, the isolation was unstopped by Dark Knight. Dark Knight borrowing straight out, it meant that it missed it. Went down. Chauncey didn't quite find the creepy hand on anyone there. Ruglord taking a lot of damage. We do see Chauncey is also going to be taking it. Does get relatively low. Will go down to the end to Grismore's Disintegrate. Yeah, PS is very good in there, but the extra burst from this E build does a lot. Alright, it is objective up. Will the side of fensad... Yeah, I was about to say, will the side of fensad just get the building first? I do like them getting building first. Sure, Chauncey will be up soon enough, but the potential... Oh, they don't quite get building, actually. They were a bit too scared that they're going to get interrupted. Nice tongue onto Jaina. Psycho going to do their best to get a stun off as well. It doesn't quite do so. What is... Oh, right. It's like, what was slowing him so much? For Spectral Swing. Skeletal Swing. But I guess it's more Spectral if you're in that form. Right, but we do see now teams are... I do think that we need this building defended. We do see it is going to get start melted immediately. No bot Zero immediately on it. Robot Wizard going in. Does get stunned partway through. Psycho using that jump. Hits a hammer onto Nova, but we do see how a lot of damage coming out in the process. Disintegrate. Very good melting the cocoon. We can see it was down almost instantly thanks to it. We can see 20s are now through for the side of fensad. Which, Infinite Lightning Cassia, we see Jug of a Million Cups. From Lee. Not the one you see the most, but I do like it. We do also see the Rewind Muradin. Love it. Tell Rush's elements on Li Ming. And the Contagion Dahaka, who is just still soaking. We're making sure that Chauncey can't get away with too much. But we do now have the teams pushing in once again. Does I need to zoom back in a little bit? Yeah, there we go. There we go. Looking much better now. We do have Psycho doing the best. We do have Jaina Cyril stepping up into that. And it just looked like ice flows of kind of how wide those E's were. Which really does look like kind of two E's duct taped to the side of each other. It's like, look, go Jaina. Do it. We do see Li Ming just throwing an orb in the general direction. E. We do see Root come out Psycho, so I can do some damage. 75 armor. Not quite the best at saving him from spell damage. But can still do a lot. Meanwhile, Ultra is up in 10 seconds. So it is very important for neither team to lose anyone here. Psycho just backing out, going to let passive go off. Meanwhile, Grismore Robot Wizard taking a decent amount of damage. There is the Cocoon coming out. Jazzy Fast stepping back. There's going to be an off-lane fight up top, so I'm going to have to zoom all the way out for this, as we are going to get a very split fight. Dark Knight was jumped onto by Muradin. Novabot trying to decide whether to go help Chauncey or stay over the fight. And there is just that happening over there in the meantime. And there is a very big wave here that ICC TBD need to deal with. And that is the chance that fensad used to go onto the Leoric, and Leoric does indeed go down. And I've pushed it again on accident. Sure, they lost all the sappers, but they're getting 5 shots in, which Boss is up in a minute. Boss will be able to finish. Next objective will be able to finish. Shoot, these camps will be able to finish. Top camp, maybe not. But you're still in a very good spot if you are the side of fensad. Orb hitting Novabot. Novabot taking a lot of damage there. Not quite too much, but still definitely a uncomfortable amount, to say the least. Nice tongue by Ruglord. We see a lot of damage coming out. Dark Knight holding on as best they can. Psycho taking a lot. Does have to use jump out. Dark Knight did pop rewind there. Ruglord getting relatively low. They are going to use that burrowing claws. Stun comes out. That will be them going down. We see Cocoon coming out onto the Cassia as well. Chauncey going in behind. Psycho needing to use jump out. Grismore trying to help Cassia out. But Cassia looks like now they're in between a rock and a hard place. They will be taking a lot of damage, and it will be them going down. Novabot just spinning all around Burst, going QE. There's a nice silence to that's 1 kill. That's another kill right there. And what has been looking bad so far for the side of ICC TBD is now a much better state as well. They can get buildings. They can get boss in a few moments. They can deny these win conditions for fensad. And that's probably the most important thing right now. Grismore is at least able to slow down what is happening here, but by no means will she be able to stop it entirely. We do see the laser, or they, I don't know. I think it's, oh god, I don't actually know. I'm sure I'll get told later if you're listening to this. We do see now they're pushing it down. Boss being taken, bottom being taken. Neither, you won't really have the side of ICC TBD, fensad up in time to actually contest one of these objectives. Sure, Dahaka may be able to stall it, but with the deaths that came through and how late they did come through, it may be a bit too much for them. Right, looks like they're going to get aggressive onto Novabot. Dark Knight taking a decent amount of damage. Chauncey and Dark Knight already in position to stop them. Grismore finds him. Tongue doesn't quite, however. And that is 10 shots in for the side of ICC TBD. And Tower of Doom, well, Tower of Comeback says someone, well, validly put out in the chat, is alive and well. And this is very much a one-fight territory for either team. Maybe not, depending on when everything turns up, but can definitely be scary nonetheless. Right, we can see Grismore was stuck in that Silence Tomb, buried alive, however, it didn't quite find him. Serolith will go down. Novabot gets the orb, go to them. Nice invis by Greek Fire right as the orb is about to hit, meaning that Novabot gets to hold on. Dark Knight gets facial coming out onto them. Nice damage reduction by Chauncey coming out. But nope, Robot Wizard built that lightning ball once again. It actually cancelled that time, don't know how. Greek Fire is running as fast as it can. They're now for one to the position. Will go down to the Cassia, and that is an unfortunate situation. Dark Knight gets a bug out just in time. The tongue from for a tongue from Dahaka didn't quite find its target and just found a small beetle as opposed to the big beetle itself. I don't know how I feel about both camps being picked up here. I definitely think this one at least should be picked up because you can then try and convert this building. But I guess if you're just wanting to get a lot of pressure off the map, this is what you can do. Yeah, back sappers were taken as well. The thing is, Brightwing will not be up quite as the objective starts. So ICC fensad do need to take an early fight here. But I do like that Robot Wizard is the one in danger first. Is that if they can get this kill, that is going to be a huge kill for them. As you see, Leroy takes it down. However, that is the Vala going down now as well. Then we see the Anubrak, and that may be all she wrote, however, this time around. Jaina is in position to see what fight they can do. But they have 2 objectives to defend, and each objective, well, sure, there's only 3 towers that fensad control, but that's the amount they actually need. As it's 1, 2, 3 shots going into core. That'll be the game. And the series going over to fensad. Probably much closer than they wanted in the end. But GG's called by both sides. And Seralif dipped immediately. Well played, both teams. Oh, I'm awake now. I'm very awake now. But right, what do we have? We do have a lot of siege coming out from both Dahaka and Leoric. Dahaka actually have the most, but in terms of Soak, relatively close between the two, 1k difference, but Dahaka was there to help push in buildings just that little bit more. In terms of hero damage, very even between Cassie and Vala. It's actually the closest damage between the two teams. I also just realized I do need to do a little bit of payouts. Choose outcome, fensad, complete prediction. There we go. Meanwhile, we do see healing very close. Greekfire did a lot that game. Greekfire tried their best, but couldn't quite get it done there. And let me just show talent, since I'm going to put myself in a lobby and see if anyone wants to have a yarn with good old line bus over here. Let's just swim. That's Finn. Interview. I'm bad with interviews, so we'll always see how this goes. And I have caps lock on. Amazing. Right. So, talents. I'm going to mute myself. We do have some decent ones here. Decent ones, yes, of course. Very good talents in general. That's how this game works. Everything was relatively standard. I do like Q build. Q build, you don't see too much. E build, I do like it. Orb build did work out for Leeming once again. This Leeming Orb build does get a lot done. So I do like it. I have mentions. Wrong chat, lol. I'm in Division A chat, lol. Wrong one. My bad. Oh, it always happens. At Fensad. There we go. Now I'm going to put it in the right chat. Amazing how I mess this up sometimes. But we do see now, we have joined.
Smokey, stop it.
I'm assuming that's your cat?
One of my many cats, yes.
Amazing. Right, let me just throw it on over to the correct screen. Give me a moment. So, how are you guys feeling after that series? It did it go the length.
Sweaty.
Oh man, it was it got a little rusty at the end there. We were ahead so far, but then we lost like. That happens a lot. That's happened a lot this season actually. We've like been super far ahead on towers, and then we kind of just throw the end.
It is known as towers to come back for a reason. It is one of those major comeback maps. But let's go back to map number 1, Alterac. Definitely seemed much more comfortable for you guys than it did for ICC TBD. Have you guys been like doing that map a lot during the season and during scrims, or is that just kind of a map you guys naturally gelled with quite well?
Yeah, I think it's yeah, go ahead, More.
I think it's just a map that we're really good with in general. I know last season before I joined, when I actually watched casted their games, they were good on the map as well back then. So I think it's just a map that we're able to comfortably play on for the most part.
Because I think by the end of it, you guys actually had all your structures up still, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
Did we? I don't
remember. Honestly.
Yeah,
that
games
game
are
was
too sweaty.
It was a year ago.
I do have to
Yeah.
ask you in particular, give me more. You get Leeming a lot. For some reason, no one seems to ban out. It seems to be your most played hero. Is that... Oh, I'm being told to Okay. Ruglord, that question's just directed at you then. Why does she keep getting it?
Oh, who knows why? It used to be my Orphea. My Orphea used to be banned a little bit, and then I think I just picked up Li Ming because Orphea kept getting banned, and it's just been a pretty nice character to play. I mean, that last game, I mean, I'm jumping games, but that last game, the Nubarak was just the bane of my existence. I definitely didn't play as well that last game as I could have.
Yeah, I actually think TBD did a pretty good job on the Li Ming, right? You said they were dodging the orbs.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I think they... Yeah, I think it's just like a question of, do you think you can handle the leaving? And some teams are wrong, some teams are correct, you know.
Yep. So map number 2. I'm gonna touch this one before we get to the final one, because map number 2. Wow, yeah, map number 1 you looked dominant. It actually seemed to be the other way around. It was much harder for you that time. Kind of what was happening there in your heads as you're going through the motions, going, actually, this is turning out to be quite a pain.
I think so. I thought we got first turn in, which is nice. And we got a bottom 4-4, which is awesome, which is really good for first objective. But then they got two objectives in a row, and I think we just gave them a little too much from that. Like, I don't think our lanes ever truly recovered, because when we turned in for the 4th objective of the game, our objective got like nothing. I think it was still winnable. We had like their bot keep down to nothing, but at the end there, we kind of all just chain feeded, which is just a fensad classic. So
yep, it never helps.
I think that's honestly, I think if we didn't chain feed, it would have been a much closer game. They would have had that one objective that objective they ended with would not have ended if we had like just 2 more people alive. But they just we were so aggressive. Yeah, I think I was like trying to clear a wave that I had no reason to be clearing. That's how I died.
And were you guys expecting that kind of tank variant with a off lane Joe?
I thought it was going to be Twin Blades variant, because I swear we skimmed them once on shrines and they took Twin Blades.
I knew it wasn't, because I know TBD, they love playing. If I didn't take the Li Ming, I'm pretty sure they would have taken it. No, I didn't take...
You were Jaina that game.
I was Jaina. I'm kind of shocked they didn't take the Li Ming, because that's what they normally play is Li Ming, Stukov, variant, Nazebo, because it's such a wild wombo combo. Like, I mean, as you saw, they had really good combos on us with the variant taunt and then silence and wall. So it's just a really good combo that they're really good at.
Was Li Ming banned out?
No, it wasn't. I didn't choose it.
Okay, so just no one chose it. Okay. I was curious about that. I'm like, wait a minute. But yeah, that was definitely a much harder one for you guys, especially around that combo, as you mentioned. I kind of just saw it coming in, and someone in chat actually went, maybe it's just going to be Torn. I'm like, you know what? That'd be weird, but sure. And it turned out to be so. And then just late game to Zebo, we all kind of know what a menace that can be. And were you guys really just, we need to end before 20, but it didn't quite work out? Or what was kind of at least your process as you were doing it? Like, you go, okay, what was our plan?
I think we were just trying our best not to get picked, which unfortunately didn't go really well. Honestly, I think level 20 Nazebo is a little overrated. I think, at least in that game, I don't think it really mattered if Nazebo was level 20 or level 1. All he needed was a zombie wall, and Stukov needed silence. That combo works. Pretty much just needs level 4 to come online.
And even then, like, I wasn't really worried about the Nazebo. It was really that taunt and the silence, especially when the Stukov took the bigger silence. That's, I think, what really screwed us over.
Yeah. I did see a very unfortunate for you, Gimme, where the zombie wall was booped, but it just made it much tighter for you, so you could absolutely go nowhere.
Yeah,
I missed that. That's hilarious, actually.
Yeah, that happened. I just didn't say anything in game because I don't want our comms to be mushed.
Yeah. And now the last one. That was... You guys did have a very good lead for a lot of it, but that late game got hairy, to say the least. And I did note that at the beginning of this is a comfortable map for you guys. Or at least it looks comfortable in terms of statistics-wise. So I guess were you just going for your general game plan you have every time, and then just kind of hiccups came up, or what happened?
I think just people kind of started feeding a little bit. I know, especially towards the end there, we had some mixed comms going on. And so which ended up getting our Cassia killed, and thankfully we were able to come back from that. I was able to hit some orbs. But I think overall, I think we're just trying to keep it how we normally do. It's just we kept getting split up a little bit every so often. Just those 1 or 2 picks can really make a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I could pinpoint the exact moment that it went wrong because I was responsible for it. So we killed the Auric, so I was feeling myself, and we had 5 building. We had 5 shots. We had their bot tower, and we only needed 3 more shots to kill them. So I went for an engage on a noob rack, and instead of dying, he actually re-engages on me. I think honestly, Dark Knight, I think he really stepped it up this set. I think he really impressed me on tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't die immediately, but even under tower, they were still able to kill me. And then Lior came up just in time to land a really big 2-man entomb. I think sometimes we have trouble giving things up. Like game 2, I didn't give up a mid wave. Game 3, I think we could have at least gotten 1 or 2 more people out, but I think they all kind of went back in because we wanted to go for our teammates.
Yeah.
Definitely a VOD review for sure going to happen on that map in particular.
Fair enough, as it was quite close at the end. And now your next week's opponents will be Nexus Cats. Probably not what you're expecting, but how are you feeling going into that?
I'm pretty scared, personally.
Really?
I'm 50-50. Yeah, because I mean we've beat them before, and I think just CCS. I mean, Ewok was talking to me because I did a replay cast, and they were saying that they're doing like too cockiness. They're being too cocky and stuff. I don't know if that's the correct word, but so I think they just had a lot of misplays. I think if we could play like a little bit better than we did today, I think we should be fine. But it's also Nexus Cats. I mean, they did take it from the top league, so they might have something up their sleeves that we don't know yet. So 50-50 for me.
Yeah, I think so. For me personally, I think Nexus Cats has been really improving. I don't know for sure because I don't really interact with them, but I remember at the beginning of the season they were not doing very good. Which can happen in NGS, right? Because you might play the top 2 teams first, and then you play all the lower teams later, right? But I feel like Nexus Cats, they went from being like I thought they were bottom 2 at one point after like week 4 or something to now being in playoffs and then taking and then beating 2-1 the top number 1 team. Where CCS was like ahead of the number 2 team by quite a margin. So I think they've improved a lot. Even if CCS was on the back foot a bit, maybe they weren't in the right spot mentally. I think you still got to be quite an improved team to beat CCS like that. So yeah. I'm pretty scared. But yeah, we'll give them a good show hopefully.
But any last notes from you guys? Any kind of things you want to say? The floor is yours.
You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Shout out to my team. Thank you guys for being here. I think we've grown a lot as a team, both player-wise, but more importantly, mental-wise, I think. Shout outs to the fans watching in the Twitch chat. I appreciate you guys for showing up, watching a game that you guys do not understand whatsoever. Shout outs to Mega Mantris. I don't know if he's watching this stream, but he picked up HOTS like pretty much basically earlier this year, and he's a tank main, which is just mentally insane. I would never have the mental fortitude to play that role, but he's gotten a lot better. It's a lot of fun playing with him, and sometimes he cheers from the sidelines as well. So shout outs to him. He's gotten a lot better. Shout outs to TBD. We haven't scrimmed each other in a while, but I still have you guys in my hearts. Always really scary playing teams that you like interact with a lot, because then you feel like, oh, there's like an extra bit of competition. You got to prove yourself to your friends. But yeah, they've been really cool. 2 seasons in a row now, and yeah, that's all the shout outs from me.
I say same thing. Shout out to my internet wife Helen for being our sub and being able to come in whenever we need her and being a super supporter as well. Also, for Greek, if you're listening or watching this, I blame you and yourself because you talked shit yesterday in my stream saying that you're going to go against Nexus Cats, so I blame you. Gotta talk shit back now. And shout out to Linebus here, helping me. I mean, originally I was doing a lot of Div C casts, and Linebus just stepped in and was like, I am here, and just definitely covering all the Div C, and I appreciate that so much from a caster and a player. I appreciate you picking up all those casts and replay casts.
Yeah, for sure.
No worries. But I did say the floor is yours. I mean, immediately, like, I'm going to talk shit. I'm like, oh, yeah, I should have seen this one coming. But no, thank you to both of you. Good luck in your next round, however hard it may be. Have a good evening.
Thanks, Linebus.
Thank you, Linebus.
Right, that is going to be it from me this evening. I have been your host, V Linebus. The series did go 2-1 towards fensad. Obviously, we did see Ultrac going to them, then Tomb of Spider Queen to ICC TBD, then rounding it out with a very close Towers of Doom game going to fensad. So that will be it for me for now. I wish everyone a good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending where you are in the world, because time zones are weird. And I'll see you all in the Nexus. Goodbye for now.